But the best part about October and November football is in college football, there's games on Wednesday night, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I did not see this. I don't know. Did you check this one out?
No. I didn't even realize there was a game on Wednesday.
Right,
to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, so we definitely did not know, but as you see, Louisiana beat Marshall 23-13. And this is a good win for Louisiana. They are now 3-3. They've owned the Louisiana Bowl in the last couple of years. As if those of you that don't know, the coach of Florida, Billy Napier, used to be the coach of Louisiana, had them winning, upwards to 10 plus games each year. Playing in that, in that conference is kind of it might be a little easier. I guess people would be able to say that, but at the same time, still collecting 10 wins a year, so to have them get this win and get back on track, this is good for them, man. What did you think about this?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything you said, I fully agree with, because Napier built essentially a powerhouse there. Like you said, double-digit wins, which doesn't happen often for a school of this caliber. So to kind of right the ship against Marshall, who's beaten Notre Dame, went to South Bend and beat them. So it's not like Marshall's a slouch at all. So to go in, like he said, he had them plus 10.5. So for them to be underdogs like that and still come in and beat them by 10 points, that's impressive for sure.
That's definitely a big thing. And like you said, Marshall is no slouch. They have a tougher schedule coming up. They got to go in here and face JMU, ranked JMU, James Madison out of Virginia. So look, it's not going. They're going to have to figure that out, getting it back going. But as far as Louisiana, Woodley with 230 yards and 2 TDs. They had a number of guys running the ball, so they're definitely trying to run the ball. And as we've seen, this is a low-scoring game at this kind of cold weather. This is an upbeat game. This is one of those that's like, all right, good. We got the victory. Now we can move forward. Both teams are 3-3 right now.
Yeah.
Hey, we're on the right track. On one side, it's not too bad that you lost. I mean, it stinks, but look what you've done this year. And the other one, it's a get-right game. Get back into it. So there you go.
Yeah, both are fighting for bowl games at this point. So being 500, 3-3, you got to get 3 more wins with the last half of the season. So it's pressure on both of them for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And look, Louisiana's got like Southern Miss, Troy, Georgia Southern. You know what I mean? They can eke out. Texas State's one of them. They can get enough wins to get bowl eligible, and I believe it definitely will. Nathan is here saying, I'm at work, glad I can catch the show. Are
glad
you guys
tune in?
Oh yeah. Are you ready for some great football tomorrow? Oh, you know it, man.
So excited. I can actually sit and watch it this weekend. So
right?
I'm quite excited.
So Nathan, I know you guys play Indiana tomorrow. Definitely let us know your thoughts.
That's a fun game.
That. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No, and let's move on real quick to the Thursday night games. Look, there were 2 games that were on tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, the first one, if you like high-scoring game, it didn't disappoint. If you were a fan, right. If you were a fan of Temple,
you didn't have a good night.
No, ladies and gentlemen, UCF annihilated. And look, I was thinking of a word to use to put in here because destroyed is too light. You know what I mean? I needed just a total destruction. Annihilated Temple.
Yeah.
70-13. Woo! Come on, so Alex.
I turned on this game as it was 14-13 UCF and turned it off when it was 35-13 at the half. So it was one of those ones where going back and forth between that and the Thursday night game last night for the NFL. And it was just like going back and forth. And at that point, I was like, I don't need to watch this one anymore. It's over. John Reese Plumlee just handled business last night. Absolutely unreal.
I mean, the things that he did last night, 4 touchdowns in the air, over 370 yards. Yeah.
18 completions. That's it. 18 of 22 for 373 yards and 4 touchdowns. That is unreal.
He went off last night and had an amazing game. I mean, but you know what? It wasn't just him. It was the offense. He was the catalyst, but that offense was moving. They had a total of 304 yards rushing. between a bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? Like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys, 2 wide receivers over 100 yards in the air. I mean, that offense took the top off this thing. And we know UCF has had some struggles. We know they lost to Louisville after being up 14, but that was, that's a get-right game. I mean.
Yep, absolutely. And like you said, they had the 304 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Their leading rusher had 88. So that was by committee. That was entirely by committee.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You had at least 6 or 7 guys. I think it was 2, 4. Yeah, 6 guys that had double digits rushing. With the smallest had only 25 yards, but still, each of these guys has at least a 5-yard per average carry, per average. They couldn't do anything wrong. They played a great game. That's what they needed. Sorry, Temple, that you had to be sacrificed, but it's been a rough season for y'all already. But hey, UCF, they only have 1 loss, and that's to Louisville. We've seen what they've been able to do this year. You know, like we talked about, they're making a case that maybe down the line, you know, they might be in a you know, maybe not New Year's 6, but they'll be definitely on that line for New Year's 6 if they keep this up.
Yeah, they're going to be in a good bowl game for sure. Whether or not it's New Year's 6, we'll find out. Yeah. But yeah, they're going to be playing in a meaningful bowl game. Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. It's a very good football team.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And real quick, we're going to hit this up. Nathan said, "Can we talk about Jackson State? Deion and Ray Robinson Jr. about to throw hands." Look, if you have not seen, ladies and gentlemen, what he's talking about, if I'm not mistaken, was the handshake at the middle of the field. And apparently, you know, Deion tried to come in and do the whole, you know, 1-arm hug, and Robinson said, "No, it's not happening," and kind of put his hand in his chest. Yeah, did a little swim move and kept it moving. And Deion was like, "Well, what's going on?" Well, if you add a little context to that, Deion apparently has been talking a lot of stuff about their university, saying they're a circus and they don't have it together. And then in the beginning of the game, or in the pregame, Deion had the film crew and, you know, the guys all following him, which is a no-no in pregame. You don't do that stuff. Yeah. And so he's doing that, and he was completely standoffish. Deion didn't say anything to the other coach. So at the end of the game, he's like, "You don't come at me and act like we buddy after you disrespecting me and all that." What? No, don't get it twisted. So, yo, what are your thoughts when you saw it and after hearing all that?
Well, at first, the whole trash talking thing, to me, it's Deion being Deion. Yeah. Like, he's done a phenomenal job as the head coach at Jackson State, and it's insane to see him, how everyone saw him in the NFL and when he was on the NFL Network and all that, versus how he treats these kids and how he reacts with these kids, because it's very, very professional, very father-like, very, like, he's very stern with them. Like, you're wearing this to class, you're sitting in the front row. Like, he's got them in line on every single thing. And then you see that side where it's like back to old Deion a little bit, like the glitz, the glamour, the showbiz a little bit. So it was kind of funny to sit back and watch all that happen.
You know, I mean, it is funny because when you sit there and look at it, and it's like on one side you're like, "Oh man, we're getting this in-depth look right before the game," and you know, him and Travis Hunter and all this. But then when Robinson said it like that, where he was like, "Yo, that's disrespectful. You got a camera crew out here, like this ain't even serious. Like, you dogging our whole program. Like, get out of here." And I respect that. A true purist, a football purist. That's like, look, Deion, I get it. I get all the attention you're bringing to this, but like my granddaddy said, I said this last time we talked. He was like, "Look, no, I don't want it just because it's flashy primetime Deion. No, they need to come watch this because it's good football."
Yeah,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean? And so I think, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I understand the trying to bring eyes to it, because we've seen the kind of talent he's brought in. He brought in the #1 recruit in last year's class in Travis Hunter, and swayed him from Florida State. And you've got, like, Shadur Sanders is a very good quarterback, and you've got tons of, like, true Div 1 talent there. So I understand trying to get the eyes on the game there, but there's a way to do it, and you don't do it by knocking the other team.
Right, and that's why you're at a Jackson State and not a Florida State. You know what I mean? So still a little class. Shout out to my guy Jared said ASU would have done it if they could. Look,
Yeah.
you know what ASU would have done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You saw how they did Herm. Look, we're going to go ahead and move on. Sticking with those Thursday night games, Alex, oh my goodness.
Wow.
West Virginia gets a W after we talked about a week ago when they were down 28 early, and then it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
They finally find a way to get a W over a very good Baylor team, 43-40.
Yeah.
Alex, talk to me about this one, man.
One, like I've said before, the hardest thing to do in college football is win on the road. Yep. So for Baylor to go to West Virginia, one, that's quite a trip. So I'll give them that. Two, I mean, the running back, Mathis, had a phenomenal game, 22 carries, 160 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Daniels had an okay game, 24-37, 283, a touchdown. Had that pick, though. Yep. So they offensively, they did enough to handle their business here. And it's kind of good for Baylor because they had that good of an offensive game and it still almost wasn't enough. But it's not the same Baylor defense we've seen from the past few years. So they got to figure that out.
And that's the thing. You know, Baylor came into this season ranked. They came in very highly touted, but they got that loss to a high-powered Oklahoma State team. You got that loss to BYU, who's no slouch. Yeah. You know, and now they're not the same team. In this game on offense for them, it was Sharpen to Gavin Holmes. Gavin Holmes had over 200 yards receiving and 7 receptions. I mean, they were throwing it all around, but to be honest, it was a back and forth affair. Yeah. I mean, and this was at halftime, it was 17-17. Like one team was scoring, then the other team was scoring. Like they were playing. To say they weren't playing defense isn't true because there was a lot of defense played. You had Shire had or what is it, Ross, who had the fumble recovery they took back for the touchdown, you know? So this was an active game, but it came down to the end, Alex. And I mean, how else would you rather it come down to the end? Right down to the wire and on a special teams, right?
Yeah. So what I see here is that it came down to a last-second field goal. Yeah. So I think I didn't watch the end of the game here, so I think what happened, if I'm not mistaken, was Baylor kicked a field goal with just over a minute and a half left, and then I think West Virginia returned it most of the way, pretty much got into field goal range, kicked a field goal with 30 seconds left.
And ended it right there.
So just, like, absolutely insane. Because for that much to happen in a minute, essentially, is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Oh, yeah. Jared said, I feel like TCU and Baylor alternate being dominant every year. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And this year, it's TCU that's doing it with Max Duggan, with that team. We see how good they are. But, hey, you're absolutely right on that, man. Oh, man. So, hey, this was the phrase of the day is get right. Okay, this was a get right game for West Virginia. I was not – look, I was – like I said, I was in West Virginia a week ago. I was with my fiance's father, and it was, he was real quiet. There wasn't much being said, and once it got to 28, it was like, oh. So to see them do that with a very, very good Baylor team, albeit not the same defense, it's good. It's something that West Virginia definitely needed. Mathis getting the running game after the injury to Donaldson, man, and Donaldson actually is doing better. For those of you that don't know, he was carted off the field a week ago, and he was airlifted out of the stadium. So he is doing better, functioning, everything like that. Is prayers to his family on a speedy recovery. But you know what? We are going to go ahead and take a quick little breather, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we're so glad you are here, and we're so glad you can be with the entire Let's Talk Football community. But there are so many other shows going on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, hey, doing big things. Everybody is on fire, and it's almost like a little silent competition. Everyone wants to one up the other one. Like, oh, you're doing this? Oh, let's see if we can do that. So we gonna play our little part in this little competition. But let's just see all the stuff that we have. We'll be right back.